So this is one of our packages of bees. There are generally 3 pounds of bees in here. There's a caged queen, which I'll show you as we get up to the hive to install them. And then there's also a can of sugar water in there for feed to keep them sustained during their travels. So one of the things that we need to keep in mind about handling these bees is that by the time they got here yesterday at the post office, they've, pretty much been traumatized a number of times. They've been taken from the original hive, they've been placed with the new queen, they've been put in this box and caged up. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to give them another little bit of trauma, but try to calm them down and try to ease them into this new home. So we want to be gentle. So as we work with these bees, no fast movements, just be gentle, just breathe. These are Italian bees, they're very gentle. It doesn't mean you won't get stung, but the thing you need to understand about honeybees is when they sting you, they've sacrificed their life. Their stinger pulls out and they're gonna die. And being stung by a honeybee, now that assumes that you're not allergic to bee stings. But if you're stung by a honeybee, it's a little prick. It's not like being stung by a yellow jacket or a wasp, which pretty much tends to anger you because it hurts a lot. So we don't really have to worry about that with the bees. Again, there are going to be a lot of bees flying around when we do this. It's not a big deal. I'm going to be inside protective suit. Parker's going to have a suit on, because you never know what's going to happen. But again, these are very gentle bees, and we'll be working real slow with them. Okay, so we have our first package of bees out here. And on the top of it, we have a bee inspection from North Carolina that these bees have been certified. They're disease-free. It doesn't mean they don't have mites or things, but they don't have foul brood or anything that's extremely destructive at this point. So we have a little balsa cover here, and what we're going to do is the queen is in here too, and she's tied to this, and we're going to pull her out. She's in a little cage, but we also have to pull out this feed can so that we can get to the queen. Now in the past, what they've done with these boxes is they have had a separate opening for the queen, so that we didn't have to bother this. So we'll see how this is going to go. This is the first time that we've had to use there you go. Okay, we're starting to get it. So what I'm going to do before I open that up is I'm going to take 4 of these frames out, okay, because we're going to be putting the queen in, and then we're going to be placing the bees in there. What I'm also going to do with these frames is I have some sugar water here, and we're going to spray, and we're going to coat these frames, so the bees will sense that food there, and they'll kind of hang around and go for that rather than just trying to go off immediately to find something else. And we'll do the same with the 4 frames before we put them back in, once they've got the bees established in there. The other thing we'll do is that to further calm the bees, one of the things that we can do is that we will also spray the outside of the box with the sugar water, and that will act as a calming aspect for the bees also. Because remember, again, this is another little trauma event in their lives here, because they're being moved again a number of times in just a few days. So we want to be gentle, We want to love them. We want to care for them. I'm not quite sure why they did this like this, because this doesn't make it easy. And it jolts the bees. There you go. I'm gonna get it. Now, what we're gonna have to do is when I pull this out, we're gonna have to cover this real quick because we don't want these bees coming out. Okay, so got some bees there. They came out with a can, okay, a little bit of syrup. So now what we're going to do is we're going to break the strap so that we can pull the queen out. She's got to go in first. Oh, they're making it tough here to get to her. Okay, so now we're pulling the queen out. Still got all those bees in there, and they're coming out with the queen. And let me get her. I wish I'd have brought scissors, but I'm going to show you something here in a second of what we've got to be aware of. Okay. All right. So what we have here is we've got a queen in here, and she's marked, and she'll have a little dot on her back, and there are bees in there taking care of her. In the end of this, there's a little cork. We're going to take that cork out. Under that cork is a piece of candy. It'll take the bees a day or so to eat through that candy and let the queen out. And so that gives the bees, again, time to acclimate, share pheromones with the queen so that they will accept her and they can begin their hive. So the thing to look for is we want to make sure there are no dead bees in here that would preclude the queen from being able to get out, okay? So we don't see any dead bees there. We've got our little cork here. I'm going to take that cork out. We've got to make sure we get all that cork out or the queen will die in there. Yep. All right, so we've taken the cork out, and so there's a piece of candy there that the bees are going to eat through over time. So what we're going to do, since there's no dead bees in there, we can put that queen in here like this between these hives and let her set, and then the bees will search her out and start eating through that candy over time, okay? So now we've got these bees here in this package, and we want to calm them down a little bit, okay? So we're going to spray them with a little bit of sugar water here. Okay, now the other thing we're going to do is I'm going to take these bees, and I'm going to thump them once so they'll fall to the bottom. And then that way they'll be away from the top when I open it, then I can put them into the hive. So, okay, what we're going to do is thump it. See, they've all fallen to the bottom. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get over here, and I'm going to take this off, and then I'm shaking them into the hive. We got a little smoker here. And we got a little sugar water that we'll put on them. Got a lot of those out, so we're going to gently put these frames back in here. like this. Like this, being very gentle so that we don't harm any of the bees, like that, okay? Now again, we've got bees here in the front. So what we're going to do is we're going to set these bees here right in front of the hive so that they can get back in there. All right, so now that we've got that on there, we're going to put on this top cover. Make sure the entrance is in the front. Gently slide the bees out like that. We're going to put this top box on. And next, we're going to set a jar of feed in there. And then they will have a constant source of feed. And we'll check that every day to see how they're doing and see what they need. And then eventually, we may take that and put it in the front with a feeder. Okay. So now we've got those bees on there. We've got a restricted entrance so that they'll kind of stay in the hive and have limited entrance and kind of stay with the queen. These bees here will eventually come out and go into that hive. So we successfully installed our first package of bees. And again, we'll check on them every day, at least for a good week, to make sure everything's okay, make sure we can find the queen, and see when she begins to lay. And we'll be able to do some video and show you those eggs and things like that. So that's our process. It's really not a difficult process. You just have to take your time, have some bee knowledge, and understand that with patience and being mindful about what the bees are doing, keeping an eye on them, you'll come to understand what their life is like, what their life cycle is like, and how to tend to them when you see needs that they have, whether it be the mites or something. Okay, we have both of the packages installed in their hives. The queens were all good, they were alive, and the bees are getting acclimated to her. They will, a day or so, they'll eat the candy, and then she can get out and begin her laying. There are still bees in these boxes, and so we put them right near the entrance so that they can easily get in the hive. And by tonight, probably by 9 o'clock, it'll be cool enough that these bees will have go in the hive. And then I'll come back tomorrow and we'll kind of gently look in them. We don't want to do a lot of disturbance, but we'll just kind of see where the queen is, if she's still in the cage, those types of things. But you see we have bees coming and going already, and they're already going to start looking for nectar and pollen. So be sure to check back on the Patch Facebook page, because we'll be doing updates all through the fall to let you know what our bees are doing and what the progress is. And we've got some tracking sheets that we'll be using so that we can track a number of factors with the bees and have a more scientific approach instead of just blowing in the wind with this, because we've got an investment in here and we want to make sure that we're doing the service to the bees that they need.